Now on Lunchtime Agenda, we are going to bring in our panel, Labor MP Graham Perrott, Liberal MP Craig Laundy. Thank you both for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, David.
We have been seeing the evidence before a Senate committee in Sydney of the Qantas CEO Alan Joyce, who has been grilled about the 5,000 job losses announced by Qantas. He was asked whether changes to the Qantas Sales Act would stop further job losses and couldn't give that guarantee. Take a look.
There is no way you could rule out to me, or I hope there is, could you rule out to me that if Section 3 of the Act was repealed, that there could possibly be a lot more than the 5,000?
I can't rule anything in or anything out, Senator.
So, Craig Laundy, perhaps to you first, does this sort of add to Labor's argument that this change to the Sales Act, greater foreign investment in Qantas, would see more jobs go offshore?
Look, not at all, David. What it shows you is, I mean, of course he can't commit to what employment will do because he's operating in a competitive environment against Virgin, Etihad, you name it. And what this shows you is that the best way for him to do that is to indeed change the Sales Act and let him compete on a level playing field.
And to you, Graham Perrott, a response on that, but also a response to this, that Alan Joyce, in regards to safety, said that the fact that the fleet is now much younger than it used to be means that you don't need as many people looking after maintenance. The average age of aircraft now about 7 years. Does that eat into Labor's attack when it comes to Qantas's safety record and potential erosion of it?
Look, safety is maintained by constant monitoring, so that even if that argument had legs today, in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years' time, obviously it would evaporate. So that's a ridiculous argument. But I will say this: Craig talked about a level playing field. Let's be fair dinkum. Every global airline that's competitive has the backing of at least one or two governments. Craig and his cronies are about to cut Qantas loose. They're letting that Tea Party competition policy interfere with the industry policy and the fact that we are a nation disconnected from the rest of the world where we need airlines. So to let Qantas go free and not guarantee a further cut to and not guarantee the protection of jobs is just bizarre. Already got 5,000 employees, 5,000 households about to lose a job, and then to say, and it might not stop there, this is crazy stuff. Let's focus on the national interest and look after Qantas.
A quick response, Craig Laundy, and we'll move on.
It's the first time I've been accused of being from the Tea Party, David, but look, it's a competitive environment. Over the last 14 years, employment in the airline sector in Australia has increased by 50%. That's been through Virgin, through Etihad, through all of these environments. I don't expect Graham to get it. He's never employed anyone, that's fine. He's got to stick with his union friends, that's fine. But this is about a competitive, unshackling Qantas and letting it compete, and that's the best thing that we can do at this time.
OK, well, speaking of unions, the Attorney-General George Brandis has today announced the terms of reference for the Royal Commission into claims of union corruption. Graham Perrott, do you have any issue with the terms of reference that have been released, 12 of them?
Well, this was just signing off today on what had been released earlier, so no, we've spoken on this. Obviously, people that value unions are more passionate about tracking down unlawful behaviour and crooks in the union sector. More passionate than Craig or the Tony Abbott and the Attorney General will ever be. That's the reality. I do have some concerns about some aspects of it, but let's track down unlawful behaviour and shine a light on it. I don't think we should be delaying until the end of the year when the Royal Commission reports. Let's get the AFP onto this now. Let's get some resources into it right now. Don't wait. Let's get the police doing their job and investigating and finding out this corruption wherever it is, rather than the political witch hunt aspects which Mr Brandis seems to be focusing on.
Craig Laundy, your response?
Look, dismiss that out of hand. The beauty of a Royal Commission is it will do exactly as Graham said, shine light on. It has different powers than the AFP and day in, day out policing. It's an environment where people can have a full and frank say. There are plenty of people in my electorate, great union members, that agree with exactly what George Brandis has said today, and they are busting at the seams to have this thing done.
OK, we don't have long left, but I just want to finish on the government's planned changes to the Racial Discrimination Act. This is what the Attorney-General George Brandis said on this today.
Abbott and I have said since the election about Section 18C is precisely, word for word, what we said before the election. That is that we would repeal Section 18C in its current form, that we would remove from the Racial Discrimination Act the anti-free speech provisions.
Craig Laundy, your seat in Sydney is a very multicultural one, and you've revealed this week that there has been zero support for this government change. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, David, look, I see my job as a backbencher is to listen to the people in my electorate and to feed back in that information. And to the Attorney-General's credit, I was able to catch up with him last week and explain that I reckon in the vicinity of 1,000 phone calls, emails, conversations, is the number I used this week, and that would be ballpark right. Some of those emails and conversations are from organisations that have hundreds of members, and I just found it interesting, and I wanted to report back that I have not had one phone call or email asking me from within my electorate. I've had some groups outside the electorate make contact, but from within my electorate asked for this to be changed, and I just wanted to make sure that the thoughts of those people in my electorate were heard.
And so what have those representations been saying to you? How strongly are they opposed to these proposed changes?
Look, strongly opposed, David. What you've got to understand in my electorate, it's a classic Australian story. It's how we'll grow into the future. And you know what they're saying to me, and what I agree with them on, is that if we are to be a multicultural society, all embracive, all inclusive, we have to, yes, free speech is great, but it comes with a responsibility, and these provisions were ingrained in law to enable us to grow into the future and give minority groups some certainty around behaviour that I think all Australians would think is unacceptable.
Graham Perrott, very short amount of time left, but are there any sections of that Act that you would like to see amended?
Look, I don't have to go too... I totally agree with Craig on this one. I've got a very multicultural electorate as well. Similar concerns, not the same number, but similar concerns coming into my office. Personally, even that language of anti-free speech is rubbish, complete rubbish. We know that to have a functioning democracy, people have to be able to express themselves, but with that comes responsibility, and that's what Section 18C preserves, as far as I'm concerned. I would like to see some other things added to our discrimination laws, including religion, but that's a story for another day.
Another day indeed. Indeed, I should say. Graham Perrott and Craig Laundy, thank you both very much for your time. We're out of time. I'm David Lipson. Thanks for watching.